In a time longeth departed, those with forbidden power over the dead were branded as wretched Boneraiser. Such heathen were hunted, hanged, burnt, and staked, and their remains were sealed within sanctified mausoleums. But what the fearful and foolish folk did not realize is that those who are already dead cannot be killed. Thou art one such reviled Boneraiser. Now riseth from thy grave, but tread carefully, as the godly heroic forces come to hunt and slay thee once more. Fetch their bones and amass a legion of dead and daemon, for the king of this domain crusades to demand thy head. Can thou resist King Gygaud's poundings?
Greetings, dear viewers, it's Skeleton King Sherpa, and today I'm here to show you a little something. I mean, being a king of skeletons and all, I'd say I'm just a little bit partial to necromancy, zombies, and the undead and such. So I found the perfect game to scratch that itch that only bony skeleton fingers can scratch. Today we've got Boneraiser Minions, a game very similar mechanically to Vampire Survivors, and funnily enough, Boneraiser Minions actually has a class called Vampire Survivor. A nice little wink wink, nudge nudge if you ask me. The main difference in this game, however, is that your main method of attacking doesn't come directly from your Boneraiser, but you raise bone guys to do your bidding. And boy howdy, there is quite the selection of skeletons, zombies, demons, and more. I myself was sold at skeletons. Duh. But if you still need further convincing, this game also has a fantastic soundtrack, mostly comprised of 8-bit tracks by either Eric Skiff, Ben Reber, or Ozd. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those. Skiff and Ozd both have websites showing their music and how nice these dudes are with how they offer said tunes. Ozd, however, kicks it up a notch though with offering tutorials on his website on how to make 8-bit music if you are so inclined. Links will be in the description. These guys do phenomenal work, and it's very impressive to me that the developer of Boneraiser was able to make a cohesive soundtrack from a culmination of these three dudes' work, because the majority of these songs were not created exclusively for the Boneraiser OST. These guys have been working on 8-bit stuff for years, and they just happen to fit for this game pretty darn good. I can see the interest in your eyes, because I myself was there one day, and to finally and truly sell you this game, let's talk about value, because this game has a lot of it. Let's start the list. You got 16 different classes to unlock. There's an online leaderboard that separates not only by class, but also by map. Oh, maps? Yeah, there's a ton of those to play on. So far I can count at least 10. Oh, and the maps, you get to customize them a little bit with the gold you pick up. You can change out some of those dumpy old tombstones and give you something a little bit more tangible, like a patch of mushrooms that'll do damage to enemies that step over it, or a scarecrow that, well, can you guess what the scarecrow does? Also, there is a whole ass card game, and you get a new card every time you die. No. Just, no, you won't get me with that. Or with the mouse support you literally just added today. Multiple different extra game modes, of which I haven't myself even unlocked, and a multitude of hats and cloaks to collect. God forbid you get through all of that, and, well, there's still more. We have New Game Plus, or I guess here we call it New Game Forever. Don't suffer like I did. Here's one tip for the game that I wish I knew a bit earlier, or at least focused on before getting other things in the upgrade trees. Make sure to snag Journey into the Beyonds from the Boneraiser lore to get access to different maps, being larger, more challenging, and more rewarding. Not something you have initial access to. You need to upgrade to be able to get that. That's it. That and Demonic Ritual, which when a minion at level 3 is in your army, you may be able to upgrade them by letting a demon possess them. And trust me when I say demons are very, very, very strong. And one of my top priorities in almost every run I do now is getting a gosh darn demon up in there. Also, the little engineer dudes are slept on. Get at least 3 of them and there is a class dedicated to actively changing the map's contraptions and placed objects during play called the Contraptioneer you will then unlock. And the achievement you get when unlocking said class, only 8% of players have at this exact moment. So it won't be special for too crazy much longer. But for only paying $3.99, I've managed to already get 8 hours out of this experience. I will definitely continue to get more, and this game has given me a tangible sense of superiority that I'm going to ride for as long as possible. This has been Skeleton King Sherpa, and I thank you for joining me on a much more brief, but also coherent episode of the Game Graveyard. This time literally taking place in a game's graveyard. Still on sale, but with a non-sale price of only $5, I'd say Boneraiser Minions is a must-get title for your PC library. So pick it up now while it's still on sale. I'm confident you will be able to milk every single penny out of this experience, and the developer is still very active, with the release being not very long ago at all. Thank you again for being a small part of the Game Graveyard, and I hope you have a pleasant rest of your day or night. Two control screens. Cool.